You're a change practitioner, and sitting in front of you is a ginormous implementation. You've tried this implementation before and it didn't go well. You've had to return to your legacy systems. And now, once again, the executive team has mandated that this system implementation move forward. You've got multiple departments impacted and hundreds of employees impacted. Some of them need to know just a little bit about what's going on, and some people will have their jobs fundamentally changed, processes changed, and maybe move to a different part of the organization. So how do you go about identifying who all your stakeholders are? How do you figure out where they're currently at in terms of understanding this change? And how do you know where you need to move them to for your change to ultimately be successful? I recommend using a basic 5-stage change management curve. There's 5 phases in this curve that you can use to plot each of your stakeholder groups and even individuals, if that's what makes sense. The definitions are very basic and simple. The first is no awareness. That means there's no understanding of the change and what the change is about. The second level is awareness, which means enough information to generate self-concern. The third, understanding. Enough information to think through, ask questions, and grasp the meaning of the change. The fourth is acceptance. This means individuals have enough information to enable individual application of the change. The final stage is commitment. That means that people have enough information and enough buy-in that they're able to influence the acceptance of others. Now, you may be thinking right now, don't we want everybody to be at committed stage for change? Not necessarily. You don't need everyone to be committed. For example, if someone's job is going to change, we would want them at acceptance. Remember, that's where somebody's able to understand the change in order to take action on it. You also don't need to plot every employee. You do want to be tracking people who are going to be significantly impacted. I recommend using a metric of if somebody's job is changing by 60% or more, you would want to plot those individuals and groups or teams on your change curve. What about your executive committee? Do you need them to be at the commitment stage of change? I would argue yes. You do want your executives to be able to perhaps influence the board regarding financing of the change or maybe additional scope that needs to be approved. So you do want them to be able to influence the buy-in and actions of others. For the general population who doesn't understand what's going on with the change and will likely be less impacted, you may want to think about having them at the awareness level. That's just enough information to understand the change, but if their job isn't going to be impacted, you don't need to spend a lot of time and resources getting them thoroughly informed. Not everyone needs to reach commitment. What does need to happen is for the change practitioners to understand where their stakeholders are at and where you need to move them to for your change to be successful.